Welcome to the Horse Talk Show
You never heard of a talking horse?
with your host, Louisa Barton.
I want to be a famous rider.
Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital.
Truth is, I help horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit with the bit, Louisa Barton! Yeah, baby!
Welcome to the Horse Talk Show presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. And I hear in Idaho the weather's very pleasant this winter. Actually, I heard from Gina at Larson's. It's not a whole lot colder than it has been here the last couple of days. Although it's been beautifully sunny, we've had lovely skies here in the horse capital of the world. I'm Louisa Barton. In the studio with me, I have my co-host, Paulette Stout, who's cold. Imagine
Freezing.
that. You're always freezing.
Freezing.
Get some fat on your body, girl. There's a lot going on here in the horse capital, especially this weekend. The Grandview Invitational at the Florida Horse Park, the beautiful Florida Horse Park. What an absolutely incredible venue to have any event at. Outdoors and certainly lots of room to social distance out there. Also very excited that we have the Pasofino Festival. Very excited that Ali Ortiz will have that at the Livestock Pavilion this weekend also. So lots of options for you to enjoy and visit both places if you can this weekend. The New Year Paso Festival should be about 130 or 40 entrants in that, including me apparently. I rode my first Pasofino ever last week, and it was a really, really exciting experience. I've never been on one before. And they put me in the round pen for about 3 minutes, and the trainer had a lead line on me, and then he said, okay, we're going to the board. And so I had no idea what I was doing, by the way, but I loved it. I was so impressed how smooth and comfortable and amazing these horses are. What a beautiful breed. So definitely get out there and watch that show this weekend. I think you'll really enjoy it. We're going to start off with a bit of horse news. Then we have Dr. Adam Cayot, hopefully joining us from Peterson and Smith on the phone, if he's not on an on-call emergency. Then I'm very excited to welcome the Young Living Percheron team here. Not the actual team, not the horses. We wish we had them. But we have the Sparrows here, and they're actually going to talk to us a little bit about what it's like to travel with these incredible gentle giants, some of the things and challenges that they face as they travel to 12 shows a year sometimes, raising their own draft horses and lots more. So we all love the drafts. They all make us so excited. Fantastic to watch in action. Certainly amazing horses, and love to hear from them. And their products, by the way, I can personally endorse, are absolutely amazing. The Young Living essential oils are fantastic. Then joining us, we'll have Dan Taylor from Equusafe, who is going to talk about a product that he actually invented here in the horse capital. And I'm really excited to introduce him and his product, and for you to understand some of the safety features that are so important about what he's come up with, whether you're driving or riding or teaching a new young rider. And I'm sure there's a lot of us out there that have had the experience that he's going to talk about, and how we can make that safer for you. But to start with, some news. Paulette, I'm sure you've heard that the Rolex 5-star Kentucky 3-day event was cancelled. With other events over the weekend of that.
What
April
was the
22nd
reason?
to 25th, the pandemic. Now, trying to keep everybody safe. This was actually one of only 7 annual 5-star 3-day events that there are in the world, along with badminton, Berkeley, of course, in England, Germany, France.
Some of this won't be by May. Everybody will be vaccinated.
Do you think?
Yeah.
That fast?
Yeah, by May.
You think so? Mike Cooper, president of Equestrian Events at EEI, which actually produces the event, said there were too many uncertainties regarding the pandemic for them to have it, so they felt that the cancellation was the only option, and had worked with US Equestrian, the Kentucky Horse Park, and state and local government on several different scenarios for April. Here's a quote. Given the importance of the health and well-being of our spectators and competitors, we feel the only option at this time is to cancel the 5-star event and hopefully proceed with other events that our fans can enjoy via live stream and other outlets.
I really wonder why they decide one over another.
I don't know. a good question. But
I wonder if we're going to have our fairs this year.
it's disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
The catalogue for the Ocala Breeders Sales Company 2021 March sale of 2-year-olds in training is now available at the OBS website at obssales.com. They have a total of 561 juveniles catalogued for the 2-day sale, set for a Tuesday and Wednesday, March 16th and 17th, with both sessions beginning at 11 a.m. The Under Tax show will actually span 3 days, and that will be March 11th through the 13th. And it's always fun to actually go and watch the Under Tax show. Have you ever watched one?
Yes.
The breeze shows? Pretty amazing to watch those right there. You can stand at the track and watch the breeze and then gallop out, and it's pretty good stuff. So the cover, the front cover of the catalogue is 2007 OBS March graduate, Into Mischief, purchased for $180,000 by B. Wayne Hughes out of M&H. And what a horse Into Mischief is. Just about all of his.
How are they doing their buyers and stuff there?
Some in person, masked and socially distanced, but their online presence is amazing. They've upped it. Nick Demerick and Wes Peterson, who is now the marketing person for OBS, has really brought the online feature to a whole new level. And they're running about 30% of the sale is actually horses purchased online now. Yeah, they've done it. Hats off to them on their renovation and on what they've done to make that possible to carry on and sell, you know, some of the best race horses in the world go through OBS. So pretty exciting stuff. And
maybe it'll increase it later when the pandemic is not a problem. We'll have more participation both ways.
When the pandemic first started, one of the only sports that carried on was horse sports, and racing was a big thing. And actually, they showed numbers in bidding, in gambling, actually went up. Probably because people were home more and they were stressed out,
on the
and they were trying to win some money.
They're on the computer.
But it was a sport that people could still watch and enjoy. So because it carried on. So I think that hats off to them as well. You know, for keeping that sport going and keeping people engaged and excited. And I actually think it brought a little bit of a return kind of back to racing, because people were like, well, what can we watch? Racing. Oh, we can gamble. Online. Let's gamble. So I actually think it was a good thing. I think it got people kind of, you know, excited again. But OBS has shown to send so many successful horses to the stakes races that are trained right here in Marion County throughout that season, yearling to 2-year-old. And every year, 2/3 of the horses in the Derby Gate train here, and 2/3 of the horses in the Breeders' Cup train here. So and it happens every year. We just watch that, you know, the names coming back up, the wonderful connections here, and so much of that goes through OBS. So they've done an absolutely phenomenal job. They've done what we call pivoting. They have pivoted in the pandemic to being able to bring things virtually to people, and you have to, right?
You know, the Western Dressage Association of America did their world show online, and they called doing it the online pivot.
That's perfect.
That's what it is. It's on the patches.
That's particularly appropriate.
Yeah.
In a last bit of news, you know, we always have to take you to England. Even now, I'm officially a citizen as of 2 weeks ago of the United States of America. We have to have a bit of British news, or it, you know,
Of course.
we do. The well-being of a number of British horses is put at risk by well-meaning passers-by. Apparently, during the pandemic, with more people out of work at home and walking around the country lanes, running into horses and ponies over the fences, feel like giving them a snack. Please don't. Apparently, they have record numbers of illnesses of horses and ponies in England from people giving them vegetables and bits and pieces that perhaps they aren't used to having. So please stop.
Really?
Yes. And Gigi came in, and you know what that means. It means giddy up and get out of this segment. So we'll be back in just a few minutes on the Horse Talk Show presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Welcome back to the second segment of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. I'm Louise Vartan in the studio with Paulette Stout. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Joining us now by phone, we have Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson and Smith. Dr. Cayot, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
On the break, we were chatting a little bit about parasites, and I have a question here. It's quite, oh, you want her to have it?
Yeah,
okay.
your microphone's up.
Okay, here you go. Hold that up there, Paulette. There you go.
Okay.
Because I don't have one of those, because we have some special guests in the studio this week, and so we're needing an extra microphone. And because I'm a loudmouth, I get this one.
Of course.
So, Dr. Cayot, I adopted a wild Mustang last year in a moment of whatever that madness, and had him immediately as soon as he came to my home. He was in a round pen, 6 foot tall round pen, like they told me to, and I had a couple of fecals done on him to check for parasites. My first instinct was just deworm, like a power pack or something. But I thought, let me at least find out what he has before I do anything. So I had actually 2 fecals done at a local lab, and they were both negative. And I dewormed him anyway, because I thought, well, you know, he just came out of a pen full of wild horses, and, you know, I was kind of worried about him. You know, I wouldn't have done that if that had been one of my horses that came back negative that lived with me. But because he was new and he came from this pen of wild, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and deworm him anyway. So I did. And about 2 months later, I was horrified. I'll never eat spaghetti again. Never.
Yeah.
I came out to the pen and I was mucking poop, and it looked like spaghetti dinner from St. Joseph's Convent that I went to like years and years ago in England. It was awful. And I mean, it was every pile was full of now they did appear to not be moving.
So what's the question?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the
Well,
question
yeah.
is,
Once they come out, they're dead. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on their last leg at least, so to speak.
Yeah, even though they don't have legs, they slither. So does that mean they were sort of like embedded in the intestinal wall, and that they just suddenly like shed out from that, or
Well, they were attached to the wall, so those are probably strongyles. If you say they look like spaghetti, you know, large strongyles. In your fecal, you may have not. You know, they might not have been shedding or, you know, shedding eggs, because that's what they look for, right? So when you do a fecal, they look for the eggs, and they don't look for worms. They look for eggs. So eggs are the worm. And
you have to have a female for that, right?
you know, I think that parasites are can be either or, because I don't think they do not copulate to reproduce or have eggs. So
Who knew?
no, I don't think they do that.
I never studied the copulation of worms.
I think parasites, and forgive me, but I'm pretty sure they are both sexes.
Heartworms are different because there's only because the eggs that have to.
So,
Well, yeah, you know, there's different parasites, and they're transmitted differently. Like, you know, heartworms, and I think that's what you said, Paulette. Heartworms in dogs are transmitted via mosquitoes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Through microfilaria.
yeah, the microfilaria, so the little larvae get injected, and then they hang out, and they settle down in your dog's heart, and that's where they grow, and that's where they cause all kinds of problems. So strongyles are obviously ingested orally,
And they're in
off
a large
the ground,
colon.
and it's the eggs that they get ingested, and then the life cycle, they hatch out, and they attach to the intestinal wall, and then they start shedding eggs, and the circle of life continues. So
okay,
but,
so next,
yeah, no,
next
it's not uncommon.
question, Dr. Cayot, is a research team at the University of Kentucky is delving into the question of whether osteoarthritis in horses can be lessened or prevented with greater understanding of horseshoes and vibrations up the horse's leg. What are your thoughts on how horseshoes affect osteoarthritis in horses? This is a lot more complicated than the word.
I can answer that
Well,
one.
I mean, not only horseshoes, but that obvious horseshoes change the angle of forces, right? Horseshoes change the angle of forces through the foot, and certainly they are needed in some circumstances, and there are a bunch of great farriers out there, and that do a great job, and certainly they're just like any profession. There's some that don't do a great job, but certainly the effect and the forces and the change of forces that a horseshoe can cause, or that they cause, can certainly add different strains and stresses to the joints that over over a long period of time can cause arthritic change. And I'm sure they're going to see a lot of differing extents of arthritis caused by differing angles and that sort of thing on the foot. Certainly, I think of all the shoes that are out there, from just regular racing plates and that sort of thing, to these big thick pads that some of these horses go in to make them have a lot of action in their gait. Those forces have to go somewhere. So
Would you just say, I mean, obviously a shoe is a traction device, so when you have a traction device, you have a force that doesn't necessarily give as much to the ground because of purposes as a traction device is supposed to be used, like a polo shoe that you could use on a barrel horse for being able to have traction, or being able to put caulks in a racehorse that is going around a turn for traction so that the foot isn't slipping, because you have two forces there. Slipping causes tendon damage, but yet the foot going to the ground and stopping the movement of the foot forward in a jarring fashion would then affect the joints. So traction devices can increase concussion on the leg. When
Anybody
it comes
would
to,
think she knows what she's talking about.
but
She's
what,
a farrier.
but I can tell you that as banging on horseshoes, when you have vibration in metal go up your hands, that's why my hands look like they do. So what I was going to ask you is, now I always had shock tamer pads on my horses, whether they were jumpers or barrel horses or whatever, because I didn't want the concussion of the shoe ringing up the leg. Do you know of actual research about the ringing or the vibration of the shoe going up the leg? And of course, steel versus aluminum is completely different.
Paulette, I don't know that there's anything out there on that.
Actually, this study is to study that.
These vibration plates that they get, there's some limited research on that, but nothing really strong and evident that it does a whole lot. Horses seem to like it. Clinically speaking, owners seem to think that it helps in certain circumstances. But I don't know that there's anything out there as far as passing the vibration through the foot while the shoe's being applied or whatever. I don't think there's any data out there, and certainly none that I know of.
Dr. Cayot, thank you very much. Gigi is giving me the you ran over look. So thank you very much for the information. Thank you for being on the show with us this evening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds great.
Take
care. Thanks
Dr.
for having me.
Adam Cayot from Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. We'll be back in just a few minutes, and we have the young living Percheron Sparrow family here with us. Can't wait to chat to them about beautiful gentle giants, the draft horses. Stay with us.
This show is presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital, one of the top equine hospitals in the USA, with services including ambulatory, surgery, sports medicine, reproduction, and with doctors on call 24 hours a day. Check them out now at petersonsmith.com. The opinions of the hosts and guests on the Horse Talk Show are not necessarily that of Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital. This show is brought to you in part by Summit Joint Performance, promoting a healthy, thick synovial fluid, decreasing inflammation in the joints and improving the cushioning properties of the cartilage pads. All age horses can benefit from Summit Joint Performance. Our Facebook broadcast sponsor is Lawson Farms. The Lawson Farms mission is simple: to be the leader in quality and value. Richard, owner of Lawson Farms, is committed to a positive attitude, integrity, dedication, quality, and teamwork. Lawson Farms is committed to being your supplier of Idaho's finest alfalfa, a complete line of mixed and grass hay. Lawson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. This show is brought to you in part by Horseboxes USA, the newest and most advanced way to safely transport your horses in style. Horseboxes USA comes standard with a backup camera, horse cabin camera, and dual fans. Visit them at JJ Tack Shop on Highway 40 in Ocala or online at horseboxesusa.com.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Lawson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton, and this summer I had a chance to go to Idaho and Utah and Montana, and it was absolutely beautiful. And our guests in the studio are actually from Utah, so I'm quite envious. I loved it there. It was one of my favorite places I've ever been. And that is Tim and Brittany Sparrow, who are with the Young Living Percheron team, here visiting Ocala, the horse capital of the world, for the Grandview Invitational coming up this weekend. And also Paulette Stout, my co-host and top equestrian, and by the way, also a farrier and massage therapist on the side. So she knows a little bit about a lot of things. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for coming. I know you're very busy this week in preparation. We really appreciate you taking the time to come and see us. Tell us a little bit of your background. I've read quite a bit about you growing up with horses, family involved in horses. You guys met through the horses on a farm.
It's all horses.
I know, it's all horses. I love it. But you've been around them pretty much your whole life. And you love farming, and I love the fact that you guys are farmers and you're so involved in that. But tell us a little bit about how it all started and how young you were when you started being involved with these amazing gentle giants.
Oh, I'd say it was pretty much from birth. The first time I drove a 6-horse hitch when I was only 6 years old. And we had Belgian draft horses in Iowa and cattle and farmed, but the horses were always my favorite thing to do. And I get off the school bus, and my grandfather be spread manure with the horses, and I get rid of my book bag and
went to work.
Yeah, and drove horses with my grandpa. So
that's fantastic. Isn't it wonderful to start out young like that with horses and be around them all your life?
Yeah, I think you develop instincts that you can't teach.
Well, at 6, how did you put the harness on?
Yeah,
with 6 Belgians, I drove them. I didn't harness.
That's what I was going to say. That's a bit of a reach, isn't it? And Brittany, how about you?
The same from birth. My father, he actually buys and sells horses. So for a living, that's what we did. We had horses there every day, and we came home and we jumped on ponies and we sold those the next week, and horses were always coming and going. We had everything in that scenario. So we mainly focused on the draft horses, but we could see anything on any given day.
Wow, how awesome.
Her father sells probably, 2/3 of the horses to Mackinac Island in Michigan.
Wow,
really? Because of the driving?
Yes,
Yep.
Everything on the
Everything on the island has to have horses, so
it's horse-drawn. So
yeah, they deliver everything.
So we're actually sharing on Facebook now. If you're listening on Facebook, watching on Facebook, we're sharing actually some fantastic photos and videos. If you're listening on the radio on 97.3 theskyradio.com, you can actually go to the Horse Talk Show on Facebook, like us, and you can enjoy all of this. There's some absolutely phenomenal photographs of these beautiful draft horses. Now, you guys raise these all yourself, right, on your farm?
We don't. We raise some, but we have one horse in the hitch right now that we've raised. But we started working at Young Living about 3.5 years ago, and you know, it's a little bit of luck, and to raise one that has the skill set to go in the hitch, and the size, and everything kind of has to fall into place.
Wow.
So
It's amazing.
That's
that
him
horse,
actually there.
The horse.
So how long does it take you to train one to put one into an 8-horse hitch? And how many times do you replace them?
You try to, as far as replacing them, I mean, the good horses, as long as you can get them to last. You really try and take care of them. You give them the right amount of training and get them fit to perform, so that, you know, they're not straining themselves and things at the show, but also try not to overdo it at home.
Right.
You know, but you know, some horses last longer than others.
Average in the hitch?
I'd say 4 years is about average. We got some that have been showing for, you know, before we got them, they've been showing for years, about 10 years. But there's other ones that, you know, for various reasons, and they get injured or whatever, and they can't perform at the level we're looking for. But they still have a very useful life
after
just,
that.
Just the big horses, the trotting is concussion on their feet and their joints.
There you go.
What you know,
Big shoes, big
Yeah.
feet, lots of pads.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is.
So
they go
how,
on and have future
Yes.
jobs.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
just
Yep.
the level that you're competing
Yeah,
at.
exactly.
Obviously, you don't want to hurt a horse. If
Yep.
it's ready to retire, it's
Yeah.
But how
time to
long
go
would
on
it
to another
take you to
job.
get one ready, though, to put into the hitch?
Generally, like a 3-year-old is about the youngest they get, but it all depends on the horse. Like, you know, you can break them out, you know, in 30 days of driving. Some horses, you know, they really come to it really fast, and other horses, it seems like it takes, you know,
just like people.
Yep, just lots of driving, and they just repetition to get them to really understand what their job is and their role is. So it varies, but I'd say on average, you know, from when we buy a horse, like buy a 3-year-old, say we buy a 3-year-old and to be in our hitch, most of the time consistently, it's going to be a year from then, because of physically and everything, and also
So a year of training.
year
to
of
get them in,
training,
yeah.
and then let them finish developing, growing. I mean, a lot of them grow into are done filling out when they're 5 years old. But
So this is actually when we were at the Florida.
Yep.
What do you think of the Florida Horse Park? Is this this isn't
Gorgeous.
your first time? Is
Yeah,
it?
this is our first time because normally
it?
we're out west. We show out in Colorado during the month of January, so we haven't been afforded the opportunity to come. So one highlight of
Well,
the pandemic
welcome.
is we got to come east.
You got to come and see the Florida
Yep.
Horse. It's beautiful, isn't it?
yes,
A wonderful training ground. We watched you go out across like around the eventing course, and what a wonderful place to be, to train and be outdoors and lovely.
We
sunny
were out
weather
at the
and-
dressage show when you guys were there
Okay.
going, please don't go to the, you're going to get us killed.
I love.
yeah, we try. Yeah, because a lot of them horses, they just there's so much commotion. With
I
our
know, the
hitch and stuff.
chains and,
Yeah.
and the feet and everything flying, boy.
Yeah.
This team though, I watched your team. Everyone's so professional. Game on, all matching attire, all professional. Just I was just like, wow, everybody's just working together, just you know, ready to go. And so, how long does it take to hitch up this whole team right here,
If they were
from
to
start
go,
to finish?
if we were to go from the first time, we're going to pull a horse out to be in the ring showing. So that's going to include them being braided up, which we didn't do that day. We're going to take about an hour and a half to put an 8 in the ring, and probably an hour to put a 6 in the ring. And that's with
That's
a
with all the
consistent.
fancy, right? This
Yep.
is a training day
Yep.
right here,
Yep.
not a showing day. So there's a lot less
Yep.
Yeah.
work, obviously, because you don't have an audience. So
But-
so this is when we're not showing,
Yeah.
but still an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So quite a job.
But like you said, the individuals in this shot here, these 6 people travel with the horses full time. We all have our jobs, we do our jobs, and it's a well-oiled machine. We have a great
see
team.
That. Yes, I could see that. Everybody was game on and,
Yep.
and ready to go. Now you have a reputation of absolute excellence in your products and obviously in your team, which represents the Young Living founder, the Gary Young's continual pursuit of excellence. Can you talk about how important that is to him and to the team? Because I see that being around you and your horses at the park and everything.
That is the biggest challenge, I would say, for us personally, is that this was all founded by Gary. This was his dream. His dream was that people are in awe of these horses, and they're going to come up, they're going to ask you questions, and that's our door to open and also talk to them about the oils. He loved them, and we're sad that he is gone now and he didn't get to see all of the dreams come to fruition, but it is our job to make sure that the
his
horses
legacy goes on.
Exactly, his legacy.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, just incredible just to see. Amazing. These horses blow me away. Watching them in action and you guys with them. I just learned to drive in the past year, and I love it. But I've only driven like one pony, you know. So I see that and I'm, wow. We must be at break because Gigi just came in. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. The second half of the show, we're going to have Tim and Brittany Sparrow with us. We're going to talk a little bit more about the farming and the essential oils. Stay with us on the Horse Talk Show.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
At All In Removal, we offer the best service and highest quality products. Whether you need fine shavings, large flake, a custom blend, or even bag shavings, we have the bedding and removal services you need. We use only reliable late model trucks, and our team of drivers are courteous, respectful, and hardworking. We train our staff to the high standards we are famous for, and our customer service team prides themselves on being experts on our products and an advocate for our customers, helping them to maximize the value they receive. If quality and service matter, give us a try today.
Are you ready to get loco? At Loco Graphics, every dollar matters to provide your ideas brought to life. Loco Graphics strives to get your message across and impact your customers, offering logo design, vehicle wraps, business cards, banners, and more. Make your business shine and showcase who you are with nothing but the highest quality materials. The difference is in the details. Impact your potential customers with Loco Graphics. Like them on Facebook now and find them on the web at locographics.com.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at seminolefeed.com.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this.
With your host, Louisa Barton.
What does it feel like to be in love with a horse?
Presented this hour by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy store. Now, here's your pretty Louisa Barton.
You're fab, you're switched on, you're a bit of all right. Yes.
Welcome back to the second half of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Shout out to Pulse, Center of Ocala. If you're an equestrian, I know that your body is, thank you, I'm so used to not having this. Thank God I have Gigi. Pulse Center of Ocala, if you're an equestrian, I know you have aches and pains, whether it's lifting hay and bags of feed or just riding an awful lot of horses every day like Paulette does. You've got aches and pains, and PEMF or Pulse is indeed the way to go. If you can get it, see them and have a demo, check them out, make an appointment, ask them if you can have a Horse Talk Show free demo and feel the difference. If you get in once or even twice a week, you're going to feel significantly better, and absolutely proven to be effective, and I can personally endorse that myself. We are going to take it back now. We're talking to Tim and Brittany Sparrow, a couple who met through draft horses, who are now working with this incredible team of draft horses that are at the Florida Horse Park, a beautiful venue to have an incredible show, and there is nothing quite like seeing these draft horses in action. We got to see them a little bit after we were at the Pasofino farm. We stopped by the Florida Horse Park, and Gigi managed to catch some nice shots of these horses getting teamed up, ready to go out around the field, around the eventing course, and we got to see them in action, which was really incredible. So talking to Tim and Brittany a little bit about the team, and one of the questions I had is, on a normal year when we're not in the middle of a crazy pandemic, you average about 12 shows a year. There has to be some big challenges for taking horses of this size, and obviously a beautiful hitch, and a lot of team members and equipment and everything else that you need. Is that how tough is that? And talk a little bit about some of the challenges you face.
Probably the biggest thing is their size. Finding places. Trying to make sure. We try to stay in places that stalls are any smaller than 10 by 10.
Right.
And also to haul these big horses. We have 2 big semi-trailers for horses and equipment, and so you need to make sure you can get in there to get the horses off and everything. And you just want to. We try and drive. Mileage-wise, it just all depends where you're traveling. But as far as like time, on the way out to Florida here, we put some long days in where they run a truck for 14 hours. But that's about all the more we'd like to do. Just so we can get the best care for the horses. Just traveling isn't like it is for us. We're sitting down, we're driving, or we're laying. You can lay in the bunk of the semi or whatever. Yep. They have to balance themselves, and you need to stop so they can use the.
It's hard to find places that will be able to house this kind of thing, so you have to be pretty proactive where you're going to be going. I noticed these guys are pretty powerful, and you're really on the brake. So, do you wear out a lot of wheels on those things?
Well,
I mean, because you're dragging it a long ways.
When we took off, they were well rested from their trip. I'll say that. And,
so they were ready to go.
They were ready to go, and haven't worn any wheels out on this wagon yet.
But you're dragging it a long ways.
Yeah.
Now, I watched the process of this being painted and everything and redone. Wow. I mean, gosh, it's just gorgeous.
Thank you.
Beautiful job.
They did a great job on it, and it takes a lot of work because you don't realize you have to tear it all down to get the old paint off and everything, and it's quite a process.
So how many times do you do that?
This has been done once for us.
This is our first trip with it being repainted.
Yes, I watched that process on Facebook of it being all literally taken apart. I mean, quite a job, but what a transformation. Not that it looked bad before, but my gosh, it's really beautiful. Talk to us a little bit about the essential oils. When I started kind of doing some research into this whole pandemic thing and healing and health and everything, because I take a lot of vitamins anyway, and I'm a big believer in all that sort of thing, but I love the essential oils and dropping them in the water and the diffuser and all of that. I did that for the probably straight first like 4 or 5 months of the pandemic, and have that just running in my house all the time, because obviously there's no guarantees, but I'm going to go with all the positive things and smell good and feel good anyway, right? So talk to me a little bit about the essential oils and what people should know about them. I know they go along with your line of excellence, for sure.
So that's the thing, the company, like I said, this opens up the door, the avenue for us to talk to people about the essential oils, about the benefits that people can have from them. You asked some of the products that the horses are very fond of. So we have the straight essential oils, and then we have products infused with them. So we have our Coolazul line, and that's the pain relief arthritis cream that we can use on their large muscles groups, because we like to warm all of those up.
Is it for horses or humans?
Well, both, yeah.
Well, you need that for your hands, I'll get you some.
So we have that, and then also we have our Nisha Red, so that is the supplement that is in the liquid form with the wolf berries infused with the other essential oils. And so you drink that, and we actually have the horses take that in each day in their feedings, and they love it. You can actually have them drink it right out of the little pouches because they love it.
And the facial care one, does that give a facelift kind of deal?
It makes you look 18.
You know, I haven't tried that on the horses, but I do personally use that one.
Do you? Do you like that?
I do.
Not use that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very
I like
much.
that one.
Yeah.
I haven't used it yet.
There's every.
You have a baby face.
He does.
Yeah. There's any from our kids use the baby line. There's the personal care
And
products.
they have Holiday Kisses lip balm.
Oh yes.
Kisses lip balm.
Yeah.
They're wonderful.
You might need some of that with your new boyfriend.
Oh.
She's got a new boyfriend, so she needs some Holiday Kisses lip balm.
Yep.
What am I supposed to say? I'm just watching all of it.
So what are your favorite products?
Thieves.
Thieves. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's
What
the
is
one
it?
with the pandemic
Thieves.
that feeds. And they also have the drops.
Yes.
That you like lozenges.
What did you say?
I don't go anywhere
Thieves.
without them.
Yep. So it's the legend is that when there was the Black Plague, that they would go in to rob the dead bodies, and the people weren't getting ill, and so the law enforcement said, "Please tell us what you're doing, and we won't prosecute you." And they had a combination of the different oils that they were applying. And so that's how the thieves legend.
They could rob, someone who died of the plague. They could rob them and not catch it.
So we clean everything, the horses' stalls before we go in.
Oh, it's
now I
amazing
understand.
stuff. Thieves.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
They have a whole line of.
I'm trying to find that.
Yep.
They have different. They have laundry detergent, dish soap,
Hand soap.
hand soap,
Before the
oil itself.
Before the horses go into the stalls, we spray down
With the
all the
concentrate.
stalls with the concentrate.
That's really smart. So you know everything's disinfected. The stuff's amazing. I'm just going to tell you. You can drop it. You can.
Did you try that Kisses lip balm yet?
No.
Did it do anything?
I'm
about
so sure she might
I want you to tell me about it, see if it does something.
If it works for kissing. Oh, you're so funny. So the website is up here actually, youngliving.com. Paulette's determined to make me blush. What is up with you lately? This whole thing. But certainly incredible family here, the Sparrow family and your team. You tell us a little bit about the team. I know it's important that you have an incredible team and you have to kind of motivate them, right? Are they very competitive to win?
I was going to say, they don't take much motivation. They're currently with us here. Well, I'll list all the team members. We have Alice Hansen, Georgia Terry, Bradley Glover, Beth Marshman, Haley Anderson, Jamie Schubert, and Lindsay Jefferson. And sometimes there's a few of them that are actually at home, because we have mares and
you all
colts
get along real good? Nobody fights?
We live together like we're one big family all the time.
Really,
Perfect.
Everybody gets along really good, and they're all a vital part of it because you see me up there driving the horses, but that's a small part of it. All the care that takes for one horse to get them their hair coats and be clean and groomed every day, and the tack and everything clean that way, and also getting the tack on every day.
Takes a village.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, cleaning harness is tough.
Gigi's
That's
rolling.
the tough.
Gigi's rolling her eyes at us. For more information on them, youngliving.com. It's up on the screen. I want to thank you guys so much for coming in to see us. We wish you the best of luck at the show this weekend. We love having you here, and we're real excited to see your horses in action. It was a real joy for us to see you guys the other day. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Great products, great horses, great company, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about some Equusafe reins. Stay with us on the Horse Talk Show.
The Equine Performance Centre Ocala, with numerous success stories and featuring the most advanced equine conditioning and rehab equipment available in the world today, is striving to be the best in the nation. Find them on the web at epcrehab.com and like them on Facebook now.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com. This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads. This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family-owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at seminolefeed.com.
My family says I'm obsessed with my horses.
That's because you are obsessed.
What? No, I'm not.
Your Facebook page has more photos of your horses than us.
And you have names for horses you don't even own yet, like David Hasselhoof.
Yeah, because that's a great name.
You even talk to us like we're horses.
Whoa! All right, smile, everyone. Say sugar cubes.
Sugar cubes.
So maybe I'm a little passionate, but that's only because my horses mean so much to me. They're so much more than just pets. They're my therapist. Sometimes I feel like people just don't get me the way horses do. My exercise partners. My best friends. And these best friends won't steal my high school boyfriend at senior prom like Stacy did. It's okay. Mommy's not mad at you, Sylvester Stallion. Because my horses are so important to me, I really need them to stay hydrated, which means giving them a good quality salt. I used to give them one of these white salt blocks, but they barely touch the thing. Ugh. Can you blame them? This thing tastes terrible. The solution. Whoa! This is not for you. This is for Matthew McConaughey. Go get some water. Hiya! I ditched the block, and now I give him Redmond Rock instead. It helps keep my horses healthy, happy, and hydrated. And it tastes good, too. That was really good. Kind of thirsty. They have the right idea. My horses and I aren't the only ones who love Redmond Rock. It's the #1 selling brand of equine salt rock in America. And it's received a whole lot of 5-star reviews from happy horse owners. Oh, this one's my favorite. And I'm pretty sure if horses could type, they'd give it 5 stars too. We tried that once, didn't we, Bert Rainholds?
Hey, babe, have you seen my phone? Babe.
Even the mineral blocks with their 6 or 7 artificially added minerals are no match for Redmond Rock. This naturally has over 60 beneficial trace minerals. I love what it's done for my horse's health. I wouldn't give him anything else. You could say, once you go rock, you never go block. A few months ago, this one brought home one of these pink Himalayan rocks, thinking it was the same thing. Bless his heart. They are similar, but this one was mined all the way over in Pakistan, whereas Redmond Rock has been mined right here in Utah since 1958 by all-American boys like John the Miner over here. So, if you want to give your horses the best salt on the planet, Redmond Rock is a no-brainer. Yeah, a no-brainer. Maybe you're wondering, what if my horse doesn't like Redmond Rock? My recommendation? Get a new horse. Kidding. If you and your horse aren't fully satisfied with your Redmond Rock for any reason, return it for a full refund. That's the Redmond guarantee. So get yours today at redmondrock.com so you can spend more time doing what you love and less time worrying about your horse's health. Isn't that right, Pony Danza? We're gonna be late for the game. Let's go. Come on.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show, presented by Farm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. So our guests were so fun, we were still chatting to them into the segment before they left. We wish them all the best, showing this weekend at the Florida Horse Park, and they were really fun to have in the studio. And it's a very good chance they might win, and we can say they were here. I'm Louisa Martin. In the studio I have my co-host Paulette Stout, and joining us we have a very special guest, Dan Taylor from Equusafe. I met Dan a week or so ago and chatted to him a little bit about an invention that he created right here in the horse capital of the world, and you know how much we love that. So I got to chatting to him a little bit and wanted to share with you his product and kind of how it came to be. Dan, it's lovely to have you here with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's been a real pleasure meeting you. I told Paulette a little bit about you and your product.
But start to tell us kind of how this came to be. There was an accident,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I trained standardbreds my whole life. Drove in some races, wasn't a driver, mostly a trainer. And I was actually hooked up to the best horse that ever lived, fastest horse ever, and the bit broke. And when it did, I got flipped out of the back of the cart, and my leg got caught in the lines. Ended up in the intensive care burn unit, and while I was in there, it had to be a God thing. I came up with this idea that this cannot happen to anybody else. And after 4 or 5 years of research and development and tinkering with it, we got it. We've got 3 patents on it. It's used for riding, driving, racing. And it's a very unique product, and it's simple. What we have is
So let's first of all hold these up so you can see that they are just reins.
Yes,
And
and we
this is an English type of rein with
rein.
rubber grip. So
it can be made in any style that you
So this is
prefer.
almost like race
That's
reins.
more like a racing rein.
Correct.
Yes.
They can be made into any style that you would want made. And the whole key to them is, and it's not even, you don't even see that it's on there really unless you're looking. It lays on a horse's neck beautifully. And what it is, it's just a safety device in case you, the horse, somebody, I had that set strong. You can adjust this
to less,
to different
But with
disciplines.
weight,
it's not going to be a problem, let's face it.
It's going to come apart. Your reins aren't going to break, number one. That's hopefully going to happen. And God forbid somebody gets tangled up in the reins, because it does happen.
Oh my gosh, yes.
My original thought was just the racing end of it for me, the standardbreds. And then when I got looking on the computer as I was developing it, I saw how many people get hurt, how many horses get hurt, tangled up in the reins.
You know how many times I have personally seen, either at a riding school or at a racetrack, how many even jockeys I've seen come off out of the starting gate. And I've been at some of the biggest stakes races in the country, and horse stumbles coming out of the starting gate, jockey comes off, and the horse wants to go ahead and run the race because he's trained to run the race and because he's a herd animal and all the other horses are going. So that horse is going. And when I'm sitting there praying nothing happens to the horse, I'm going, oh my gosh, I hope the reins don't go over his head and get tangled around his leg. And that goes through my head, reins, oh, where are the reins, you know? And I have seen horses have permanent scars from reins getting tangled when they're running. If someone falls off and the reins get tangled around a front leg, they can have a scar, a deep scar, a terrible injury from a leather rub.
A dear friend of mine in Ocala, Abby, she had a Mustang, and she had a cowboy come out and ride him one day. And don't you know, he was using these reins. Everything went as smooth as silk. And he came out the second day, and Abby said, here are the reins. He says, no, that's okay, I'll use mine. He got thrown off. Horse got all tangled up in the reins, cut its legs all up. It's scarred for life. Like she said, if those were on there.
If those were on there, it wouldn't have happened, yeah. And for little children, you know, learning to ride.
No-brainer.
Yes. I mean, if you've got a little kid on a pony that, and I know as a little girl, 6, 7 years old, I had some really naughty ponies to work with. And sometimes I went over the jump and the pony didn't, you know, and then the pony bolted. Well, if you've got something wrapped around you, you're going wherever the pony goes, you know, and that's one of the worst and most dangerous things in the sport, in any equestrian sport, is being dragged. I mean, it's a significant. So you're not just talking about the potential of a horse being hurt by it being wrapped around the leg. You're talking about the potential of a young child coming off a pony and the pony bolting. And actually, my daughter, when she was quite little, actually didn't get hung up in the reins. She actually had one of those breakaway stirrups. The similar idea. The stirrups are the same with the breakaway side that comes undone, and it didn't come undone for a few seconds, long enough that she hung and actually badly injured her knees, still affects her to today. Now that is from a stirrup, not even talking about a rein. So to me, I think this is an incredible invention.
This is driving range. So you have where you have your driving line, and so you can, if you did get hung up in these, they'll
come apart.
For driving, this is pretty good.
This is what I was using when it happened to me, and they're buckles. And the buckles are useless. Nobody ever uses them.
Well, you have to keep it buckled because you don't want to drop a rein, but it wouldn't. You'd have to tear it to get loose from it.
When I got in my accident, I weighed 210 pounds, and I got drugged 3/4 of a mile, and that buckle didn't break. And I'm like, come on.
Well, it isn't going to.
And it's something as a horseman, and I'm not ashamed to say this. In my industry, never in my life did I have a lot of fevers. But the one thing you are always cautious of is your lines. Because you don't know how many times I've gotten in an accident, get dumped out, and you land on your feet, and you look down, and you're standing in the excess lines.
Yes.
And by the grace of God, the horse didn't take off. If the horse took off, then,
Now, are these regular single lines?
Yes. And this adaptation, this invention, with the patents that we have, can be put on any.
I like the way this feels because
it feels nice. It's light. It's not
really
cumbersome.
It's quality.
Yeah, it is.
And
these,
when
these are made in Amish country.
Yeah.
We have an Amish family. These are made out of beta.
Yeah, I love beta.
I have an Amish family who they are the greatest group of people I've ever met. They helped me so much in the research and development of this. And they make all the beta ones. Made in the United States by a good old Amish family that does everything first class. I mean, you can't get better products. And they do all the beta. The leather, we're working on different manufacturers with that.
To keep made in the USA on everything, which is really important.
Yes.
I think that when I think about breakaway halters, like a nylon halter with a breakaway, or if you go and buy a leather halter, you can go like to the leather shop and
this
have
could
this
work on a
breakaway.
halter.
Right? I know, you're right, it could. So you've got a breakaway, you've got stirrups, safety stirrups for little kids that break away, but we don't have reins that break away. But we do.
The training reins.
But this to me is just, it's actually almost amazing to me that no one has done this sooner, because I think of the number of accidents I've seen over the years.
It's kind of the best comparison I ever heard it put is it's almost like airbags in a car. When they first came out, you were like, oh, I don't know if I want airbags in my car. Now 15 years later, you wouldn't think of buying a car without airbags.
That didn't have. I think that's where we're going with this thing here. I think we're going to the same theory as airbags.
It's a no-brainer.
It is.
Why would you not use them? There's no reason not to do it.
Certainly safer. Dan, I want to thank you so much. You can find more information at equusafe.com. You can probably get a nice cap. Am I wonky? Oh, good. Dan Taylor, I want to thank you so much. You can find them.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
really,
awesome.
We really appreciate this. This is fantastic information for our equestrian following, and safety's everything. That's what we're focused on. Find out more at equusafe.com. And Dan Taylor will be happy to help you out. We'll be back on the final segment of the Horse Talk Show in just a few minutes. Stay with us. Maybe.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Center Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, MagnaWave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs, EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Center now on Facebook and find them on the web at epcrehab.com.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala. Experience the difference in buying. Palm makes it simple with no pressure, the best sales staff, and lots of inventory. Experience the difference at Palm Chevy in Ocala or online at palmchevrolet.com. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
Are you ready to get loco? At Loco Graphics, every dollar matters to provide your ideas brought to life. Loco Graphics strives to get your message across and impact your customers, offering logo design, vehicle wraps, business cards, banners, and more. Make your business shine and showcase who you are with nothing but the highest quality materials. The difference is in the details. Impact your potential customers with Loco Graphics. Like them on Facebook now and find them on the web at locographics.com.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
I'm Louisa Barton with the Horse Talk Show here at the Florida Horse Park with Josh Minshull from Express Clydesdales. Around us, some beautiful gentle giants that traveled with him here yesterday for a special show coming up soon at the Florida Horse Park. Going to chat a little bit to Josh about Express Clydesdales, about the horses and about some of what they do. Josh, lovely to have you with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit of your background. How long have you been doing this? It's really impressive to watch these horses in action, so you must have quite a bit of experience.
Yeah, I've been with Express for about almost 20 years, but I grew up showing draft horses, Belgians in the beginning. Then I moved to Oklahoma to work with Clydesdales, Express Clydesdales, and recently, a couple years ago, we converted our competitive hitch to Percherons. So now I've worked with all three breeds, but we're loving the Percherons, and that's what we have here with us in Florida.
Tell us a little bit about the Percheron breed.
The Percherons are a little bit different than the Clydesdales. I mean, obviously, size-wise to scale, they're relatively the same as Clydesdales or Belgians. Built a little bit different. They're a really athletic horse. Really hardy. They love their job. They love to do it. And they like to go. And that's what makes them competitive, I think, in the show ring is they just have that ambition to, and that presence about them to show off a little bit.
Beautiful in action for sure. Tell us about kind of the age range of this group that you have here with you.
Yeah, we have anywhere from 5 to 10 years old. That's kind of the prime that we're using these horses, 5 to 10. We maybe start them in the hitch when they're 4 years old to get them going, but 5 is when they start maturing, and so we try to keep them around that age, and that's what this group is, anywhere from 5 to 10.
Now, you traveled how many hours yesterday?
Yesterday we did about 10, 11 hours, and the day before that about the same. We laid over in Jackson, Mississippi, so total we were over 20 hours to get here.
Now, how many months a year are you on the road with these horses?
Yeah, typically in non-COVID circumstances, we can be on the road over 200 days out of the year with not only this team, but our Clydesdale team as well, which we do still have a Clydesdale team that we use for exhibitions and parades. So we travel all over with them as well. But this last year, obviously, we didn't do quite as much. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit of the history of Express Clydesdales.
Well, they're owned and managed by, well, I manage them, but the owner is Bob Funk, and he manages me. So he kind of does manage it. But Bob Funk is the founder and CEO of Express Employment Professionals, as well as Express Ranches, which is a large Angus and Hereford cattle ranch in Oklahoma. So we go out, and he had a vision to have draft horses kind of promote his companies and his brand. And in 1998, he bought some Clydesdales and put them to work on the road, promoting the brand and competing as well. And he just loves draft horse breeds in general, and the draft horse community, all the people, and so he's really been a large promoter of the draft horses. So he always has a vision to go bigger and better and broader, and so he keeps us busy, that's for sure. But it's a joy to work for Bob, and he just has a vision for livestock in general. So he loves it, and we love working for him. So.
He's a great guy. He's got some real claims to fame, I know, for certain. Yeah, so incredible name in the horse industry. So we love it. And certainly these guys are bigger, broader and better, no doubt. Tell us a little bit about their personalities and how well do they, obviously they're used to traveling, so they've settled in very well. But tell us a little bit about their personalities, and you interact with them a lot. You must get quite attached to them, I'm sure.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And everyone has a different personality. Just like people, you have little different personalities. You try to mix them together, but the real spunky ones, like some of our lead horses, the ones that we want to have that ambition, that fire, that drive to stay out front to lead the team. They're a little bit more of a handful sometimes, but they have so much energy. But then you have some that are real laid back and quiet, and so they kind of vary in their personalities and their temperaments, but they're all really nice to work around. And draft horses in general are just that's why they get their name, Gentle Giants. They're a pleasure usually to work around. So I can't remember the rest of the question you asked.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh, do I have a favorite? I have a lot of favorites. You know, like I'm very much involved in purchasing the horses. So I try to buy horses that I really like. So I like to say I like all of them a lot. Homer is one of our most talented horses, and he's won a lot of blue ribbons for us over the last couple of years. He's obviously one of my favorites. I not only like him because he wins for us, but he's kind of a cool horse to be around. Very ambitious, very spunky. So I like that type. I like a little bit of a handful. You know.
How do you like our weather here in the Florida Horse Park?
Oh, love it, love it. When we left home, it was like 20 degrees. So this is beautiful. Yeah.
What a great way to bring the horses to some great weather to get some really good exercise, good training, and good competition, right?
Oh yeah, and they have over 20 six-horse hitches here, and I think everybody's just excited about getting out and competing, and what a great place to do it. You know, outside venue for the most part, and considering the year that we had with COVID, I think everybody's just excited to get out and to have some fun, you know.
Top of your bucket list, something that you want to accomplish with this team?
Eventually we'd like to win the six-horse hitch finals. We've been reserve champions the last 2 years since we got the Percherons. So I mean that's a goal of ours. We're always striving to achieve it, but we're definitely happy with how we've done with them, and we love our team of horses, and so that's something that we're always striving for sure.
And who is this behind us?
This is Ice. Yeah, he's one of the old veterans of the group. He's 10 years old, so the oldest one that we have with us, but a half brother to about 6 others here. So.
Wow, keeping it in the family.
Yeah.
I guess when you find a good line, it's a good thing to keep going with, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think everybody kind of has a different style that they like, and this bloodline is a particular style that I like. So, yeah, kind of keep my eye out for them.
Now you must have a great team.
Team of people or horses? Yeah, we have a tremendous team of people, and obviously, you know, one person can't do all of this. This is a lot of work, and for me to sit here and take the credit for the accomplishments that we had would be just wrong, because it's been a team of people that have worked diligently and really hard all year to keep them up, to train them, and to do all that entails with what we do. So
wonderful. Josh Minshull, thank you so much. Express Clydesdales. It's awesome to have you here in the Horse Capital with us for this upcoming show, and here at the beautiful Florida Horse Park, and get a chance to meet your horses. Thank you.
Thank you.
Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show here at the Florida Horse Park.
This was for the show. So Josh Minshull, that was a neat interview. We had a chance to meet Homer and a few other horses in the Express team there at the Florida Horse Park. Going to be a great, exciting weekend here in the horse capital. Make sure that you get to the Pasofino Festival and to the Grandview Invitational at the Florida Horse Park this weekend. Lots of horsing around. Until the same time next week, please like us on Facebook, follow us on social media, and we'll see you same time next Wednesday.